Happy New Year on Trend Talk right here on Trend 100.9 FM. My name is Success David Chinuma. Good to have you listening to me. And we're starting off the conversation today. Or should I say we're starting off the conversation for the year with me. Because my colleague Chidia Berendegre has been holding out for the first week of the new year. And I'm just starting off today for the year. So again, happy new year to you. We are starting off with allegation charges to the Humanitarian Affairs Minister in person of Betta Edu. Now, for some persons who may think these are just controversies or witch hunt, which is the normal lingua when it comes to government pros of corruption and how people react to it. This may not just be what it is at surface level. Now, when we talk about corruption allegations and how it affects us as a people, you know that Nigeria is not free from it. So part of what bedevils our democracy and our growth as a government or as a people or citizens is the issue of corruption. And no wonder when you search on Google or any other search engines as to what Nigeria represents or how Nigeria is, you find that some way, somehow, corruption is part of how they describe us and how our government is. But particularly as it concerns the Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Betta Edu, which just started off, or who just started off in this current administration of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is that to the tune of 500 million naira, which is said that she asked the Attorney General of the Federation to send to a private account. Now, this has been greeted with lots of reactions of people who think that, oh, it's okay. It could be that it could be the disbursement of the palliatives, which the President earlier approved, but for other persons, it is totally wrong. Now, for persons who think it's wrong, the Constitution does provide that no private individual, there will be no sending money to the Federation account from a private individual's account, and there will be no sending out money from the Federation account to a private individual account. It is totally a no. So for persons who hold on that view, they are entirely, totally correct. Now, let us not also forget that not too long ago, as a matter of fact, last week, there was an invitation for the former Humanitarian and Disaster Management Affairs Minister, talking of Hadia Sadiq Farouk. She had been invited by the EFCC on a corruption allegation to the tune of 37 billion naira, a fraud which started off late last year after a contractor had been arrested, whose name is James Equity. So this fraud or this allegation come on the heels of money laundering, and she did not honor that invitation. She kept the committee members or people who had called her to review that allegation of fraud or corruption waiting for about 8 hours without presenting herself. And much later she sent an apology on all of that. But what my concern is, and what we're going to be looking at today in all of these, is before now we never had the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and what we know. There was nothing like that. This ministry was created under the former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in the year 2019, and the first ever person to man this ministry happened to be the former minister in person of Sadia Umar Farouk, who also is facing allegation charges on fraud to the tune of 37 billion. And not too long after we were yet to be done with that, we hear concerning the newest Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Betta Edu, that there is another case of money laundering or corruption or fraud or whatever it is that you want to call it. Should we scrap this ministry? Now, let us leave the conversation of whether or not we want to scrap this ministry, which of course is also part of the conversation we're going to be looking at today. But let's just keep that aside and look at other programs and projects which this ministry has been charged with to elevate poverty or to help Nigerians to move from a place of hardship and what have you to a place of succor, and how they can live better. Have they been able to keep true to those to those charge which they were given as a ministry? How many Nigerians, how many of Nigerian citizens have benefited from the cash transfer which was done, from the feeding of people? How many of those have seen for the refugee camps which we see across the country, which these persons are also supposed to be in charge of? I'm talking about the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. How many refugee camps are there? How many of entirely displaced persons have been able to get back to their houses? This Humanitarian Affairs Ministry are supposed to be in charge of that. When we talk about flooding, when NIMET, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, bring about warnings of pending flooding and all of that which we've seen year in, year out, how many of those persons, or how many persons who are affected by these flood get to even get relief materials? So last year we also saw from the former minister Sadia Umar Farouk, who said that most of the people who were affected by the flood were from either Gombe, Taraba, and at least to the best of my knowledge, we heard of Bayelsa, Kogi, Benue, River State, who were mostly affected by flood. But most of the relief materials went to people in Taraba and Adamawa. So, what we're going to be looking at this morning is, have the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry lived up to the expectation of why it was created and to the expectations of Nigerians who are supposed to benefit from that ministry? Do you think that these corruption allegations or fraud allegations or money laundering allegations put forward concerning that of the current minister, Betta Edu, is it going to be just like other corruption allegations which we've seen that does not see the light of day? Should we scrap completely the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry? I'd like you to lend your voice to the conversation this morning on Trend Talk, as that is our focus. Also joining me this morning, as always, resuming for the first time this new year as me, veteran broadcaster and public affairs analyst Patrick Okonkwo, PO for short. Good morning, PO.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. It's nice to be here this morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Oh, same here. And Happy New Year to all our teaming listeners. You know, the truth about it is, I wouldn't have actually come in because I'm not feeling too fine.
Yeah, you can tell that from your voice.
Yes, but I said for the love for the profession, and since I could really move around and talk, I'm not completely down. Why not come and let us start off this year with positivity, very positive that this is just a temporary, setback, and you say put the devil behind me.
Yes.
So that's what we are here. I'm very happy to be here. It's a new year. 2023 is come and gone, and we are really optimistic that this year will be a better year for us. But for us to start with corruption, quite
I hope we don't continue with corruption. Honestly, I really hope we don't continue with corruption. But what is your thought about this? I mean, with all of the questions we are posing today on Trend Talk, what's your thought?
I feel highly disappointed, to say the least, that many of us have been clamoring that our youths should be given the opportunity of being part of government to showcase their potentials, as it were. The lady in question is about 37 years old, and I think what she has is just under a platter of gold. And if that is the case, it would have been better for her to have proved her prowess. Rather than less than 6 months, you are having $500 million in your kitty, all in the bit of saying you are carrying out humanitarian services. The truth about it is, some of these ministers, we said it here, that some of these, the problem we have is not policies. We have policies, but it's the implementation. And what do you expect in a system where nothing works? In a system where anybody does whatever he or she likes and goes score-free. If you don't punish people who are involved in corruption over the years, people have been going through. So anybody that comes in feels is the norm, is the normal thing to do. And I think that is how this young lady has seen it. And I can bet you that the probe which the president has instituted, to go through it, because the money was put into a private account.
Yes.
Which of course is an offense in the government sector. No matter how it is, you don't put money into a private account. You cannot justify it unless she's trying to give her. I don't see the explanation she has to say about it. So I feel highly disappointed that a young lady, and you know that we've been glamoring for our women too to go into politics, so that we can see the change. Since the men are not changing, maybe the women would have been able to, do that. But she's about the third woman who has come in and is disappointing us. Talking about the ETA, who came in the other time, and one or two other persons, But that's not to say that the ladies are not doing well in some of their areas, or we can call the lives of Akuyele, Konjewal and the rest of them. But the truth about it, I'm highly disappointed that a lady that was saddled with such responsibility could not use the opportunity to rewrite history, could not use the opportunity to say, this is what I'm coming with. That means she came from all set. She has a premeditated action, what to do. I'm going there to eat like any other person. And that is the system that we are operating. And people feel that some of these appointments are appointments for the boys. It's an appointment for those who have helped you. It's an appointment for your chronics, And so they come in with the mindset of not working really, but lining their pockets with taxpayers' money. And that is exactly what you did not even wait to do some jobs before you start taking out the money. It's quite unfortunate. And I think until we start punishing people for their wrongdoings, especially in terms of corruption, it will not end in this country.
Oh, well, there are lots of things which we want to look at here. First off is, as it concerns the former minister, talking about Sadia Umar Farik now, and now Beta Edu. Let's look at from the place of gender. Women are generally, well, sometimes or most of the time, known to be better managers. No wonder why I think that the past president and even the current president thought it important, or thought it maybe wise, that women should man the humanitarian affairs ministry, since it had to do with curbing poverty and ensuring that Nigerians live better lives and people get succor from any form of disaster which they might face. Do you think that this could be happening because they are women? Should we entrust women with more offices like this?
No, I think that like what you postulated is the right thing. Women are kind-hearted. Women are mothers. They are caring. They have passion. To do things. Some of them, not all of them. And so anybody giving such responsibility to women is not doing the wrong thing. But unfortunately, we are in a climb where corruption is the bane. And so the women are not from the blues. Again, you talk about how did they emerge? How did you get them? Did you get them on merit, or you got them because they're paddy? Because the first time they brought some women, there are a lot of allegations that they were girlfriends, to some of the top politicians, and all that. There was accusation of that nature. If you are appointing people based on your relationship with them, based on the fact that she's your proxy's girlfriend, or she's a girlfriend to you, and not because of merit, not because of what she has to offer, then we are getting it wrong. I know that in this country we have good women who are passionate about what they are doing, women who will not steal from the coffer, despite the fact that it is the norm. But unfortunately, Edu has proved us wrong. And that is quite unfortunate. That's why I started by the fact that it's unfortunate. She's young. She was given an opportunity where she ought to have rewritten the narrative, but she blew it off.
Could I see this as maybe she doesn't have good knowledge of how this works? Maybe good knowledge of what the law says and what. Because we know that civil servants, she works with a permanent secretary who is supposed to give her a thorough briefing of what her office entails. So we can see from the letter that she directed the person who this money was supposed to be sent to, Bridget now, is also a civil servant. And the accountant general is supposed to transfer same to her, to transfer to other persons in Lagos, the vulnerable Nigerians. So could it be that Betta Edu did not have good knowledge or prior knowledge of these things before she came into office? Because in the letter, it did not say that the money should be used for something different other than the transfer to vulnerable Nigerians.
There's possibility.
Could it be a mistake?
There's possibility of what you're saying, but the fact remains that if you come to a place, if you are given a position, and you don't understand the nitty-gritty or the modus operandi of that ministry, all you need is to study. You sit down and study. Yes, it could be part of that. You study and sit down and find out, know what is right, know what you are supposed to do, and know what is not expected of you. So if, as a matter of fact, she's a novice in that position, and you come in, you have people who can tell you how it goes. And I know that there's no civil servant who will tell you to pay money into their personal account, because they know the implications of that. Rather, you would have been paying the money directly to those who would disburse the money to maybe the MDAs.
Ministry Department of Agencies.
The MDAs. If the money was transferred to the MDAs, then she will have a case. The way they are looking at it, unless that the handover note from the previous administration is this. As I said, perhaps this is the way they do it. You know that the previous administration on this particular ministry also has issues.
Yes.
Has issues. So if she has seen it as this is the norm, of the ministry, and so she wants to follow it that way, then of course she has put herself into trouble until the investigation, because a probe has been set up. The president said they should look into it. I just hope it's not going to be the normal, looking into to make Nigerians forget about it, and the next thing is she could even remove them and put into another place. But the money, nothing will happen about the money. So it's a problem. Right now as we talk, if it's in another client, she ought to have resigned.
I mean, brings me to the conversation. I mean, you just mentioned now that we just hope this will not be another thing where she will be taking up this ministry and then taking somewhere else, and we'll forget that, because we've usually just forgotten that something happened, and then we move on to another conversation which starts from something else which might happen or may happen. But if I were to ask the question about, do you trust this probe to get to the right point where Nigerians are looking that it gets to, where somebody is answerable for why money will be asked, or why the accountants general will be asked to transfer money to a private account? Do you trust that we'll be able to get to that place where thorough accountability is made?
Over the years, government has proved us wrong. Over the years, government have done something that deceived Nigerians. Over the years, government have made us not to trust them. But we could give a leverage. We could give it a little clip of doubt if that is not the issue. But that has been the practice in the country, and I don't see this government doing anything different from that. I don't really see doing anything different from that. Especially when I said, how did she emerge as the minister? Is it not true paddy? Is it not true a relationship? Is it not true man no man? If that happens, then definitely there's that possibility of trying to shield her from public glare and public persecution, as it were. They'll just come out tomorrow and give us one or two stories, and she may be exonerated, and that will be it. That is the kind of country. But let's give that benefit of doubt. that now that the probe have started, we are all watching the present administration, and of course we know too that they have done one or two positive things, of course done more of wrong things, as a matter of fact. And so we are still watching them, but for so far so good. We have not seen anything different from what will be happening in government. We've not seen anything different from the past government will be having in this country. We've not seen anything different, from a government that is trying to rewrite the history of this country. But let's still watch. The government is still new, and let's hope and pray that something different. This may be a new government, because if we see that happening, I'll be one of the first to come here to say kudos to them. But for now, I don't see anything
happening differently.
It's
a new government, very much so, and how much of good and positive things they've done is one which, if we were to start the conversation, we've had the conversation numerous times on Trend Talk already, but I'm particular about why this is coming on the heels of less than a year that this administration started. It tells on the integrity of the Humanitarian Affairs Minister, and this would be a conversation around whether she's competent enough for that ministry or any other ministry. As a matter of fact, should she resign or be sacked? Should we continue whether or not this probe ends with how we hope that it is going to end? Should we entrust her with more responsibilities, whether it is where she's at or somewhere else? I'm saying this because before now we learned the conversation around palliatives and this transfer of funds to poor and vulnerable Nigerians. Recall we had a conversation on Trend Talk. If we should entrust same to state governors, as the National Assembly did propose at the time, should we move it from the federal level to the state level to governors, which would are closer to the people and can tell the extent of poor and vulnerable people that reside or are part of their government? I mean, state government is closer to the people than the federal government is, so maybe that would have been transparent. But the conversation that day was two-sided. There were some persons who were for let's leave it with state governors, and others think that we should just scrap the whole palliative thing. Another development which followed this same conversation on conditional transfer of cash, is when we learned that it was the Central Bank of Nigeria which was going to be in charge, and they were going to use the basis of national identification number and BVN. And I thought that maybe that was transparent enough to go about it. Since it's the central bank that would be in charge of it, nobody is going to be transferring to anybody. But this contradicts all of those other conversations. So should we be calling for the sack of the Humanitarian Affairs Minister? I'm talking about Betta Edu now, completely from government and from the same ministry.
See, the truth about it, Madam Speaker, is that Nigeria has made corruption, a norm, has made it a way of life. Who are those to sack her? Let any of them,
the executive, the presidency,
let anybody who has not soiled its own fingers.
The president said anybody who does not live up. At the point of inauguration of these ministers, he said so.
The president said so, but the president spent some money to buy a yacht. Talked about yacht. A yacht. He talked about buying a yacht. Is that a government that want to change the narrative of this country?
So are you saying that
we now have a president that gave, how much did they give to the House of Assembly, the senators, to buy cars? So what are we talking about?
So there's no way.
There's no way. The same thing. The same people, the same party government and all that. You tell the poor masses to tighten their belt, meanwhile you are living in affluence, and so you think that people don't know what is happening. That is the truth about it. You talk about palliative and talking about giving it to governors. In Delta State, for example, we know that Delta State had the palliative they gave to civil servants was 10,000 naira for 3 months, and that is 30,000 naira each of the civil servants. Where does that leave us with? Where does it take us to? So you see, when you talk about Nigeria, we are not getting it right. What are the basics of knowing the vulnerable people you are going to give money to? Where you have such an amount of money being pumped into it, how much will each of them receive, and how do you come about it? If not collecting some few persons who are your chronics and you pay them, It has always been like that.
Oh well.
So you surprised? I said we are watching. We are watching. Don't. In fact, I said if it was another client, she on her own will resign and say let them probe if she has a very clean hand. But right now she'll be moving around to meet her bosses, and they'll find a way. See, Nigeria, we forget so easily. They'll just find a way to say maybe she was ignorant, and she couldn't. She was not. The intention was not really to do that.
That's why I had to ask the question if it was coming from the place of she had no idea what. That's what
I'm telling you that ignorance is not an excuse. I just told you earlier on that if you know you don't have an idea of a portfolio that was given to you, you learn. Most persons will sit down and learn and not be in a hurry.
Doesn't it also question? I mean, if you don't have idea of the portfolio you were given, does it not also question? Does it not put a question on her principal who appointed her as a minister to man a particular ministry where she is right now?
No,
if you had no idea of what you were doing, why then did they deem you fit for that appointment? Does it not put a question mark to her principal, which is the president?
Well, the principal might have looked at her, like you said earlier on. She's a woman, a young woman at that. Perhaps when you look at her CV, she has something.
Oh well.
And so I say, okay, let's give this position to her. It is left for her to go back. It's not like the medical field where you need a doctor, or the the judiciary where you need a lawyer, and all that. But definitely humanitarian. There are basics. There are things you look at. Anybody could be a humanitarian in service, especially if you have passion. And of course, when you look at it, women are most suited for such positions. Knowing whether they are mothers, they are sisters, some of them have compassion and all that. They manage, the homes as it were. Perhaps I'm not standing brief for the president. That could be the yardstick of doing that. And having done that, it is left for you to ask yourself, do I really understand this job? If I don't, what do I do? You read more, you ask questions, you find out how it operates. I'm quite sure that she had found out how it operates and discovered that money day here, we feel work well, and she started with that. But if we had we're talking about our institutions not working, if our institutions were working and you have positive things being done by the past administration, who of course handled this, who started this humanitarian service stuff,
yes,
then she has a good thing, a positive thing to lean on. They will be saying that she has deviated. Perhaps it was the handover note that they gave to her that she's choosing to work. Who knows? So that is the truth of the matter.
Okay,
we are having a situation where nothing works in our country, and so the only thing that works, the only thing that people have is having a mindset to come and loot whenever they have position. And some of them see it. That is why politics is very lucrative in Nigeria. If anybody that has a position, you don't hammer. That is the issue. That is why when they are throwing them in, you see that all the families, the village will come in, saying, our person don't get there, so it's not our turn. So that is it. But that is not supposed to be like that. That is the problem we are saying. We want somebody to change all this narrative, and make sure that it is the people that matters. It is the people. What is a government without the people? When the people in government are living in affluence and the people that are governing are living in abject poverty, that is no government.
Right, let's open the phone line 0816 774 9851 0807 122 8571. The second administration where the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management lies, and two corruption allegations already for the past and current minister. Should we scrap these ministry? Do you think that these people are basically, especially as it concerns the focus of today, Beta Aju is incompetent of that ministry? If we were to look at the point of maybe she had no idea that she wasn't supposed to order a payment into a private account. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Vacation.
Yes. My name is Sylvester. I'm calling from Asaba.
Happy New Year, Sylvester.
Same to you, Madam Speaker. We've not heard from you this year. And Happy New Year, sir. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Sylvester.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Let me say it the way it is. Number one, that ministry was created to defraud Nigerians. That is number one. When our present president said that he will continue from where Buhari stopped, we knew that some funny things will be happening. Even though I have some little faith and hope that certain things will work out, especially in the petroleum industry. I see the price still coming down with the new policies and some of those things that is coming up. Then you see this humanitarian office you are seeing, it was open to scam Nigerians. You just came into government as a minister, the first thing you want to do is to start looting. If you want to continue from where Sadiq or is it Sadia stopped, because you cannot tell me that Sadia did not loot and nothing has been done about it. Today you see civil servants driving cars worth hundreds of millions. Where are they getting those money from? What business are they running? Because they know what is going on there. They know what is going on. That is the reason why they can do everything possible to get into that office. So they can keep on looting and loot and loot and loot. If anybody is expecting that anything positive will come out of that problem, we are all deceiving ourselves. Nothing positive will come out of it. Why? Because she has people she will settle. They only want to use her, maybe if possible, as a scapegoat, but it won't go anywhere. Nothing will come out of it. They are all the same thing.
Okay.
You know the last word he said?
No,
he said they are all thieves. All of them.
Oh.
That's what they are.
Oh. Oh, wow. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Madam Speaker.
Good morning, welcome. Name and location.
Paul,
Yes.
should be Paul.
Yeah, this is Paul Antonio calling from Asaba. I think it is safe to say Happy New Year to you on the show. And Happy good morning and Happy New Year to you too.
Same to you.
Happy
same
New
here.
Year, Paul. Thank
Same
you for
here, Paul.
joining in.
Same here, Paul.
Yes. Yes, Madam Speaker. The issue remains: what is or are the consequences of public office holder, looting funds? What are the consequences? It is because there are no consequences. That is the reason these lots go in there and loot as much as they can. Look at the case of Sadia Umar Farouk. Same ministry. Look at the humongous amount of money being stolen. Of course, it shows, like Sapio said, Nigeria is turn by turn. Just wait for your turn to loot. So because there are no consequences, everybody go in there and scramble for the scarce money that is not even enough to cater for the needs of the public. So it goes to show that we do not have leaders that are sincere, that understand what leadership entails. What they just want to, why the reason they want to get into office is just to enrich themselves and their colleagues. That's what we've been seeing over the years, and it's being made worse by this APC-led administration since 8 years now running plus. We can't continue like this as a people and as a nation. At a point, right now, to be honest, there is not even money, that much money. But the little that we have is still being looted by these people. For how long shall we continue like this? I think something need to give, like I keep saying. I don't know what it is, but something need to give for Nigeria to be better for us all. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Right, thank you so much, Paul. That's some passionate appeal and call for Nigeria to be better. It's worrisome. I've been looking through the reactions of opposition parties as far as this story is concerned, and especially because it's coming less than a month from when allegations of fraud and investigation started concerning the former minister and the new one. And I've seen their reactions and how they are alleging that this particular ministry was specifically created to launder Nigeria's money. This would have been this would have passed as an allegation at the surface level, but to see that 2 ministers at the same time are facing corruption and allegation charges on money laundering and how monies are not used for what they are meant for is worrisome.
No, Madam Speaker, it's in the first place that anybody who said that ministry was created because they want to really take money from it, a way of making it a conduit pipe, is not wrong. Because what are the yardstick?
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. Name and location.
Yeah, this is Jude calling from Volona.
Go ahead, Jude.
Success and the PO. Happy New Year. Success, you're welcome back. PO, you're welcome back.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yes. Our politicians, they are playing with the common man. They are playing with Nigeria. They don't even know that there are some people that are more intellectual than them. Nigerians are not kids. They are not children. In your regime, animals swallow money. In your regime, offices were burned down instead of giving account. Now you are telling us you don't know what you are doing in that office. You are a baby, come out from there. You don't even know that you are not supposed to transfer money into personal account. Is that money your family money? Our money are not being used judiciously. APC will never talk of that because it is family and friend things. Public money is not money for family and friends. It's supposed to be used judiciously. So that ministry should be closed down. And those people that doesn't know what they left to their right should come out and come back, sit down in their family homes. That is my own take this morning. Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you so much, Judo. This is like to hear from you. You said you're a baby. Come out from there. I found that very funny.
Like I was saying,
yes.
The ministry, when you talk about the laws, that is what they gave to them, it's ambiguous. What are the yardstick of measuring the vulnerable people? How do you get the vulnerable people?
We've always asked.
We've asked that question time and time again. So you see that it's just a way of saying, man, go and have some party, go and have some fun. So when you now give, what is statistics? Has anybody given statistics of how many vulnerable people have?
Statistics are that the president wanted to leave 100 million Nigerians out of poverty.
Yes.
And then we successfully did 133 million Nigerians into poverty.
So you can see that it's not working. Rather, they are putting the money in their pocket. So anybody who said that it's a ministry that was made to be the conduit pipe of taking out money
is correct.
That is correct.
Oh, okay. 0816-774-9851, 0807-122-8571, and you can send a text to 0814-039-2069. That is 0814-039-2069. It's the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry that to loot money and should be scrapped, or do you think this is just some silly mistake by the minister? Better Edu. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Name and location.
I am calling from Ogbashuku. My name is GICWmAAdPUE8TmoCAMgdGnL4sN1hbv4GAAAF. Mr. Patrick, good morning over there.
Good morning, Ashibogo.
Nigeria has a problem, and until we can see our problem of it, we are seeing it in the Nigerian government and solve it properly. And I agree that Nigeria problem as government, is concerned. Is the foundation of which the system of the government is wrong. It's not good yet. So until we remove our problem from where we are having it, then all these problems, fraud and this and that of money, health and corruption will be eliminated. All right. So we keep on praying for what? A resolution, a change is what we need in Nigeria system of government. The system is bad, it's wrong. They are all corrupt, even from the down population, and the system is wrong. It's not good. We need to talk. So until God, and it's only God that can do that. Because when a righteous man is upon the throne, as God has spoken, people will rejoice. And I think that the followers as well, will be happy as well, because the good one is on top. So that's my take this morning on this issue. Success, Happy New Year. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Right then, let's say some bills, and the conversation continues this morning on a Trend Talk. You can send a text 20814-039-2069 to stay with us.
This will be the 250k for 9 mobile promo, I will chop like so 250k.
You set feature by 4 for 9 mobile chop life promo. Stand the chance to win over 250 million naira worth of cash, food items, home appliances, fuel vouchers, and bubble airtime. Only SMS win to 577 or dial *577# from your 9 mobile line. No 200 naira or more to qualify. Open to new and old 9 mobile customer there. Terms and conditions dey approved by FCCPC.
9 Mobile. It's almost time for school. Oh, not that kind of school. I'm talking about the kind that determines what the next phase of your life will be. Where you will spend the next 4 years soaking in knowledge with young and ambitious minds who take fearless steps to become the next generation of African leaders. A school where state-of-the-art facilities help shape your future. A school where the lessons you learn echo beyond the walls of a classroom. So when it's time to write that life-changing examination, be sure to choose a university that sets you on the path to a secure future. Goodway University, where the fearless make history.
Now open for admissions into the 2024-2025 session. Visit www.wigwayuniversity.edu.ng for more information now.
Wow! Christmas is here again! We all at Achievers Furniture bring you season's greetings as we present to you 30% discount on every product you buy from Achievers Furniture, ranging from chairs, dining table, electronics, office table, hotel furnitures, and all furniture fittings. Starting from the 1st of December to 31st of December 2023. Now, what is your excuse of not having that desired perfection in your home? Turn that your house into a home with Achievers Furniture. Hurry now and visit any of our showroom today at number 63 Ibuza Road, opposite Dwellbeds, DLA Junction, Asaba, or ChukwumAAdPUE8TmoCAMgdGnL4sN1hbv4GAAAF, 133 Ibuza Road, beside LG Showroom, Asaba, or 106 Nebisi Road, by Traffic Light Roundabout, Asaba, Delta State. For more inquiries and order, 0703 please call 3846-873. That is 0703-4638-873. Achievers Furniture's World. Your comfort is our priority.
Long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible said.
Hey, that's why you came this early morning. I even thought you were flashing when I saw your call.
Flash, K. I have upgraded, and this time I'll be the one to spoil you. So get ready.
Wait. Don't tell me better thing has landed.
Yes, so Zenith's Better Life promo is back with season 3, and I just won a 150k gift card.
Hooray! That's right. Zenith Bank is giving away gifts worth 150,000 naira each to 20 lucky customers every 2 weeks in the Zenith Better Life promo season 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum of 5,000 naira. Request and collect a physical or virtual Zenith Bank debit card. Then download and register on the Zenith mobile app or register for *960# Easy Banking. This promo runs from June 1st, 2023 to May 31st, 2024 and is open to new and existing account holders. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
My brother, you don't hear the latest update though. King James Garden Home, Ibuzo for back of Asaba Airport. They do promo. This one now special promo price 50 by 100 for the back of Asaba International Airport. 980,000. I say 980,000. They still get Experience City Ibuzo back of airport. Special promo price 1.5 million for 50 by 100. I say 1.5 million for 50 by 100. And of course, opposite Admiralty University 1.5 million. All this now promo price where King James Garden they bring come. Oh yeah, now wait till you they wait for promo they go on and a special promo 50 by 100 for the back of Asaba Airport 980k. I say 9 980k. Make I still let una know say good road network dey, street light unko, recreational center, water supply, security, school and small market. All of them dey. And a 10 minutes drive to ShopRite, 7 minutes drive to Coca flyover, and 30 minutes drive to Onisha. Oya, wetin you dey wait for now? Just 980k o. Wey be our special promo. You go get land 50 by 100 for back of airport. Oya, green us on top 0701 026 2174 0701 026 2174. I say 0701 026 2174. Visit our head office for number 16 Town Planning Way behind Trend FM, Asaba Delta State, or visit our website for www.rikesestate.com or send us email at rikesestate@gmail.com. Make your mind deal. Say na Rikes Estate Limited, they develop King James Garden Home.
Trend Talk. Let your voice be heard.
Trend Talk on Trend 100.9 FM. Final lap of the show. 0814-039-2069 for your text, and 0816-774-9851, 0807-122-8571 for calls. Some text here, Madam Speaker. How can we scrap that Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs? Is that if that is done, how can we siphon money away? How can we feed the school children who are not or who are at home? Success, there is more to that. Williams from Onitsha. Oh well, that's a very sarcastic way of communicating your position. Madam Speaker, Honorable GICWmAAdPUE8TmoCAMgdGnL4sN1hbv4GAAAF on the matter of corruption in this country. Please, madam, hold your breath. The lady who has been found with this huge fund is no novice. However, let the whistleblower continue. Okay. Good morning, Speaker. Happy New Year. Mrs. Betta Edu is not working alone. I believe someone is using her. She is being used as a conduit pipe. Herself, the Accountant General, and those connected ought to be fired because they flouted monetary extant rules. It's unfortunate the type of corrupt managers we have. When the head is bad, what do you expect from the body? Ideally, the president should have suspended her to allow proper investigation. I cry for this country because at the end of the day, the report will be swept under the rug. Tony from Opanam. Most of the elected politicians, like the offices of the president and the governors, forgot they swore an oath with either the Bible or the Quran, and they are not keeping according to the oath swearing. For not keeping to the oath means a curse to their children and grandchildren. And to be forewarned is to be foreharmed. All the present politicians are thieves. Daniel from Bomadi. Raymond from Ewulu. Betta Edu, millions in private account saga will only end in the media space. Since the inception of the APC administration, Nigerians have seen white lies, advanced subsonic corruption, and open maladministration. Truth be told, in a normal circumstance, APC will not win any local government in Nigeria. Unfortunately, same APC is still in the center. A president, I think he meant which we heard about certificate issues surrounded by many leaders who have looted their various states and constituencies, can't ever question illegalities. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
My name is Comrade Owalshana. I am calling you from Onitsha. Can I go on?
Go ahead.
Yes, Happy New Year, success and the PO.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes. Talking about better the that Ministry of Humanitarian something. If you trace that minister was established by APC, there was nothing like Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. It started under Muhammad Buhari and transferred to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it is within APC regime. That was when the minister was established. Now, what I want to tell you is this. Nothing will happen to that woman. Nothing will happen to her. Just before you know it now, another news will break out. Then that news will now eclipse. The news will now subdue this issue of better do. And before you know it, nothing will go away. If you recall, during COVID-19, when children were at home, billions of naira that was spent in going to school, feeding something, whatever. So, nothing will happen to it. Because the money you are talking about is even a change. To compare with the amount that was consumed, the amount that went down the price, went down the drain under Muhammad Buhari. So, what I'm saying is this. Nothing will happen to that man. We are just wasting our time here. Until our institution begins to work, that is when we will expect something from this issue. Good morning.
All right. Good morning to you too. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. We cannot take any more calls. We're out of time. Just to take this text. Good morning, Trent. The deceit continues and it is interminable. The Tinubu's government is dribbling itself to the ludicrous end. When we scathingly say it, you broadcasters accepting trend over edit or use euphemism so that the impact will be mellowed down. They will continue to deceive us while we're swimming. Wow. So it seems more that Nigerians are not optimistic as far as this case is concerned and where it will end. So even though the money is yet or wasn't transferred to the private account, it was merely a memo which was leaked, and the accountant general said she refused to transfer the money. It doesn't seem like Nigerians trust that this probing will bring us to any place where we'd have some level of trust as far as the government is concerned.
Of course, what kind of trust do you need? When we, in the past, we've seen worse things than this. We've seen, where rat will swallow money. We've seen a situation where things will just get missing and all that. We've seen a situation where somebody just said when students were supposed to be at home, billions of naira were used to feed the children. So who exactly are you feeding? And I've asked this question time and time again. What is the yardstick of measuring the vulnerables in the society? So when you don't have the statistics and you cannot target all over the state because you must be an evil stuff, it ends up just whoever you want to give, you give, and you give among us amount of money as what you have spent. It's just that this one is coming too early. And like somebody said, she may not be alone in the whole scenario. Just that somebody has blown the whistle, and so we are having a conversation, and she has people behind her. At the end of it all, it will die a natural death, and nothing, I repeat, nothing will happen to her.
Oh well, I'm just going to focus on her principle. if we're saying that she had no idea, I'm thinking, for the benefit of doubt, that she had no idea that this is how things are supposed to be done. There is no sending money to a private account. That puts a question on the president. How do you go about appointing ministers? Is it based on how they have been faithful to you and how much of family members and friends that they are to you, or because you trust that they can get the job well done? Again, Mr. President, you said for anyone who is found wanting of any responsibility which you have charged them with as far as your administration is concerned, especially as it concerns ministers, that you are going to have them sacked. I hope that Betta Edu meets that criteria. I mean, she's met the criteria, not just a criterion. She's met the criteria for a sack. If she's not going to resign, then there should be sack. And I hope that this probe is going to end at where we expect it to end.
Madam Speaker, let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Pio, for coming on the show.
Always my pleasure, Madam Speaker.
And thank you for joining the show. We hope to have a wonderful new year. And we're optimistic as always that Nigeria will be better. My name is Success David Chinuma. And Patrick Okon will join me on the show. Join us again tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. on Trend Talk. Top of the Eyes, Totori News.